I take privilege in inviting Engineer Deepak Gadhia Garu to deliver his keynote session on achieving sustainability through social entrepreneurship.
Thank you. Can I have my PowerPoint, please? Yeah. Okay. And when I say next, can you just go next? Then I don't have to, because I don't want to use the technology. So you my technology. Good afternoon, friends. Thank you, Dr. Archana, for waking us all up and making it very interesting. And I'm glad that in a way she was flipped and she came ahead of me, because she talked of exactly project-based learning and the importance and the challenges ahead. And I'm going to walk you through how I, as an entrepreneur, as a social entrepreneur, who did not have that skill, had to go through the whole process of project-based learning. Next, please. So it was actually more by chance that I came back to India. I met Rajiv Gandhi, one of the NRI mates, and he invited me back to India. And we came back to India wanting to help India. Next. And the challenge what we saw what in India was that 50% of the Indian population, and not only Indian, even now as we speak, the world population cooks on open fire. 3.2 million women and children die in India alone every year because of smoke in the kitchen. So the challenge was, okay, there is a need. I need to now solve the problem of cooking. How do I offer them a solution? Next. The technology that was available in India, the box cooker, could not fry, could not make chapati, could not cook quickly enough, it was fragile. So there was a technology which was functional but not spreading and not acceptable because it was not doing what people wanted. So we said, okay, let there be a technology intervention and bring a technology which can do that. Next. And then we brought a technology called SK40, a parabolic dish, which is nothing but like a dish antenna, but with a reflector where you reflect all the sunlight at one point. You have a temperature of 200, 300 degrees centigrade, and now you can cook. And we thought we had solved the problem. But again, we forgot that we could solve the problem of technology where we could cook quickly and could fry and make chapati. But the people who needed it could not afford it. And people who could afford it did not want it because they needed to go out in the sun. So again, we forgot that one was the acceptability and second is the affordability. So we said, okay, now how do we do that? So we need to bring a technology where you can now, the lady can cook in the front of the kitchen. Next. So with that idea which came from a lady who said, you know what, you are a typical man, you all men sit in the comfort of your air-conditioned offices and we women are going to the sun, bring the technology where the sun comes in the kitchen. So it's very important that we learn from people what they want and we don't do what we think people should do. So we brought a technology where you can put the dish inside and outside and you can reflect the light inside, and now you can see the woman cooking in the comfort of the kitchen. But it was only, the smile did not last long, because the moment she heard the price, she said, I want to cook in the kitchen, you will bring the light in the kitchen, but it's not at the price what I want. If I install such a cooker would cost about 1 lakh rupees. If I put the money in the bank, from interest alone I can pay for my LPG cylinder. So again, affordability was there, but she was looking at economic viability. So it was again not acceptable. So as a company we said, okay, now a product which can do what people wanted, but instead of that, can I change the market? So from domestic cooking we went to community cooking, where now with 2 big dishes we can cook for 200 people. And we found out a market, so a niche market of midday meal program, where government was giving money to the schools to incentivize them, the children to be sent to school. So we went to government and convinced them that why don't you, instead of giving every month fuel costs, give the solar cooker, and the children will also learn our technology in future, which is the need where they can cook without using any firewood. So we piggybacked on it. So you see a solar system. Then the challenge was, yeah, but we can only cook during the day. What about night? So we had to develop the technology where now you can cook at night. And now suddenly one thing we realized, basically the title of my talk was Social Entrepreneurship and Sustainability. So when we started this, we were glad that we had the NGO to do all this. So we had an NGO called Eco Center ICNIR, International Center for Networking, Ecology, Education, Reintegration. But the moment we started offering solutions, as an NGO, we are not allowed to accept any, do any business, because otherwise you lose that ATG government gives you for accepting money. And we didn't want to depend on donation and grant, because there is a corruption, bureaucracy, paperwork, and meeting people expectations. So the idea was, can we not create a company where we can have our own money and then we can finance our NGO. So this is where the sustainability, so we are working in the field of sustainability, not only to save environment and people's health, but also how do you create a financial sustainable model, and entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship is a way forward. Next. And then one day we got an inquiry saying, look, we want to cook for 1,200 people. And we said, buy these 12 such dishes, you can cook for 1,200. And they said, no, the problem is that then we will have 12 cooking vessels, 6 cooks, very large kitchen. And then the idea came, why do we need to bring the light in the kitchen? Actually, you are cooking with the heat in the kitchen. And so we developed, with the help of a German company where I was working, we thought of a concept where now we can actually not bring light in the kitchen, but bring heat in the kitchen. So actually what you do is you produce steam with a solar concentrated light and then bring the steam in the kitchen. We went to our Indian ministry and said, look, sir, we want to do this technology. And they said, okay, where it is done? We said, it's not done. It's for the first time. They said, why do you think you can do what others have not done? Do you think you're better than Einstein? So instead of supporting us, they discouraged us and threw us out. Luckily, I used the emotional story, went to the German government and convinced them to support this system, because I said, look, I have gone from Germany to India. If the technology works, you Germans will get a good brand and all. So the first system was funded by them. And this is how the world's first solar steam cooking system was installed. And then we never had to look back. Next. We went and then installed the world's largest cooking system at Tirupati temple, where we cook for 30,000 people. So you see 106 dishes in the terrace producing steam, and the steam is piped to the kitchen, which is on the ground floor, 4 floor below, and you are able to cook for 30,000 people. And we thought, wow, this is a world record, 30,000 people. Where do you have so many people eating? But then we went on to break our own record. This is the present world's largest solar steam cooking system. This is at Shirdi temple, where we are cooking for 50,000 people every day. We are saving 17 lakh rupees every year. So the system, even without subsidy, would have paid back in 5 years. Because of subsidy, it could pay back in 3 years. Next. And then we said, okay, now temples are very easy target to convince, because they have the money, because we spend a lot of money for washing our pap. But what about industries? Okay, we cannot have only one market. We need to develop a market which is multi-pronged. So we went up to industries. So we moved from temples to industries. So this is an IBM Manyata, where they do cooking. And they said, but we will not give you the space, because where we are putting car or parking the car, and every car parking is 2.8 lakh rupees. So we had to create a structure. So this was the world's first solar parking, where the car could be below and there could be a solar system on the top. Now you see a lot of things and all. Then we said, look, can we expand the market? This is the world's highest solar cooking system at Ladakh in Leh for the Indian Army. And surprising part is that it cooks at minus 40 degrees centigrade. Very often we get confused, oh, but it's too cold, how will a solar system work? A solar system does not work on heat, it works on radiation or irradiation, and you can see it working. And here you can see why so many people and women and children die, because when we cook with LPG or induction oven, so we can't even realize the problems of cooking. Here you can see the Indian Army cooking. The Indian Army, which is very techno savvy, and we can now have a missile which can go to 26 kilometer and have 0.1 millimeter accuracy. But they use a kitchen even now with a kerosene fired bhatti. The same kitchen mounts, you see that it is with solar, it is clean, it is quick, it is convenient, and it is fuel free. Next. Then we said we came to India to help the poor, but in that process we have ourselves become rich. A person, rich company, very name and fame, but we did not serve the purpose. So we said, can we now use this technology not only for cooking but do more? And we asked ourselves, who are the poor? And we were shocked that the poor in our country are the farmers. And we asked, how can a farmer who grows food go hungry? And we realized a farmer is poor because he produces perishable product. So how do we use technology to convert perishable to non-perishable? And food processing is one way forward. We can convert perishable to non-perishable. Example, if a farmer sells potatoes, he gets 10 to 20 rupees, but if he converts into potato chips, he gets 200 to 400 rupees. This can be done at village level. He can sit on it till he gets better price. So empowering farmers and doing value addition and creating employment at rural level is one to be out for. Next, we can do bakery. Next, another application, big application, and this is why I'm trying to show all these examples to the students and the professors, because these are the ways we need to do project-based learning. I want each and every institute to become a live lab, where our students are not only just taught on slideshows, but they do some project themselves, show the real world problem, and this is what IUC has been doing with us. We have been conducting clean and green courses on clean campuses, where students can be involved with faculties and train them. So desalination, they say that the first and the second World War was because of oil, but the third is going to be water. And this is nothing but desalination. You just evaporate the water and condense and you get distilled water. Next. This is another very interesting application in India, solar crematorium. Every time we burn a body, we burn 200 to 300 kilos of wood. And we have 700 million Hindus. So if you multiply, there is not enough wood in the country to burn all the Hindus. So now what do? We have electrical crematorium in city. We have got gas crematorium. And it's a crime to produce heat by using electricity or using conventional fuel. Why not with solar? As we say, Surya Devta, solar god. Why not that? Next. This is another very interesting application. One day my chairman called me and said, you know what, Deepak, you're giving me heat when it is hot. I run a cancer hospital. My 50% of the cost of running a hospital is air conditioning. So we developed India's first 100-ton air conditioning plant, where we use the heat of the sun to do cooling. without going through the electrical compressor by running a system called VAM chiller, which is vapor chiller. So many things are possible. Only thing is, if you are given a challenge, and this is what Krishna ji has given me, says 50 years work condensed in 10 minutes, so I'm going to do that. Next. Then as an industry, I sold my company, shifted to Munisia Ashram, and was very happy to be trustee there. And one day I got a call from Australia saying, we want you and all. I said, look, I don't need you because I was already the biggest and the best in the world. They said, no, we have a technology which is better than yours. And I asked, how much? And they said, we are 100% better than yours. So again, you can't sit on your laurels. You have to keep on track and keep on evolving. And this is the technology now which we have brought from Australia in the new company. This is the world's biggest dish. Next. So again, to compare, when you want to install separate dishes, you require a large area, and land is available in villages or the rooftop of temples, but industry has no space. So now we wanted to bring a technology which is also space efficient and which can produce steam and temperature at higher temperature pressure, so that not only you use for heating, but you can run turbine, and the steam coming out can be used for heating and cooling. Next. Can you do the simulation? This is that world's first concentrator built in the Munisia Ashram. If you just click there, it will rotate. It's a simulation time lapse. Just click. Yeah. So here you can see it's a 26.2 ton structure moving in. It's a 7-story building, so the height is 30 meters, and it is moving in both directions of the sun. And all the light is concentrated at one point. This is the focus where the solar boiler is there. The temperature in the focus is 1700 degrees centigrade, and we convert that into steam at high temperature pressure. And that with steam we are doing laundry, sterilization, cooking. In next phase we are going to do 1000 ton cooling, and in next stage we are going to do tri-generation, where we can use the power, electricity, heating and cooling all the way. Next. So for me, I was thinking that I have done my work and I can now go gladly to the God. But God said, no, that's not true. You still have a lot of work to do. And that provocation came when one day I got a phone call from Dr. Abdul Kalam saying, I want to come and visit your ashram. At first we thought someone is joking. Why would Dr. Abdul Kalam want to come to a small village and NGO? And he said, I want to come because I am talking of a concept for the future of our country, which is called Pura, that is providing urban amenities in rural area. He says, only if I am able to change the bottom of pyramid, there is a very famous book from Dr. Sheikh Prahlad, that over 70% population lives in villages. No amount of smart cities are going to solve the problem of the country, because people living in villages have not benefited from the progress we have made. We have all bullet trains and all everything possible, but villages have not changed their life. We have not made impact. So the idea was, how can I change my village life? And that is only possible if I can create them, provide them the same good water, good electricity, good employment, good entertainment, good education. So yes, 2 minutes, I'm done. Yeah. So this is my last slide. And then the idea was, okay, he came, he visited ashram, he saw all what he was talking about was done, but he said, you know what, Deepak, you have fulfilled 99.9% of my dream, but only 0.1% is missing. I said, sir, I did not know about it. Tell me, I will do it. You are arrogant when you are successful. And he said, you know what, I'm telling you, you have wasted your life, because whatever you have done, I've got 650,000 villages in our country, and I want each and every village to be like ashram. But you have been able to do it because ashram gets a lot of donation. So now create a business model. Show that whatever you're doing is possible, that it is with the last mile. And this is now the challenge to me, this is a challenge to us. So we realize that technology alone cannot solve. We have to have business models. We need to have manpower, we require to have finance, we require to have people who will operate, install, manufacture, run, repair. Now that's only possible if we create something what is called boot model. Build, own, operate, transfer. Government does the same thing when they want to build road or schools or airports. They just invite a private party, they build it at the cost, they run it and recover the cost. So I think the same model we have to do it, so that villagers do not take the technical risk, they don't take the financial risk, they don't have to operate it. They only pay for what they use, but get a better quality. At the same time, they are the owners and operators of the plant. So there is a buy-in, risk and all. So with that, I would like to say, we are doing at ashram the same thing on boot model. The company Sunrise is investing, so ashram does not take any technical risk. And they buy energy from us at 10%, just like we have got power purchase agreement, we have got steam purchase agreement, and chill water agreement. Next. So this is what I want to show. The technology has reached villages. In villages you find Coca-Cola, you will find mobiles, but you don't find technology which can change their life, empower them and all. So with IUC, it's our challenge to see that we bring the next generation and give it to the world. Thank you very much. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your perspectives.